Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 31 of our summer series. In these summers, we invite an expert to talk about the area of expertise. Today we have Sara Banta. Sara is a health coach and busy mother of three. Fortunately, she has managed to squeeze us into a busy schedule. Sara's family has had a broad spectrum of health issues, including her son's fight against leukemia, and hopefully we'll be discussing that today. For the last 10 years, Sara has been researching alternative solutions. Sara has a degree in economics and psychology from Stanford University. She has also graduated from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition and the Invincible Wellness System, a school that helps you learn to become your own doctor using natural methods. Sara's goal is to provide natural and innovative solutions to families for their health and nutritional needs, so people may live with more energy and experience a better quality of life. Sara will talk about natural remedies and how they can kill foreign pathogens, detox the body, and rebuild our immune system. She'll also talk about the benefits of accelerated silver, the health benefits of the ketogenic diet, and keto shakes. The keto diet is a diet high in healthy fats, moderate levels of protein, and very low sugar levels and carbohydrates as well. She'll also discuss the detox protocol and how to protect your immune system using natural methods. If you have any questions on the subject and throughout the discussion, please ask Sara live in the show using the Summer Q&A or chat facility. So welcome to our show, Sara. It's wonderful to have you here. Please tell us more about the health issues your family has faced and how you overcame them.
Okay. Well, I'll start out by, being a 20-year-old thinking I'm invincible like everyone does, and not eating the right foods and not probably taking care of myself the way I should. Was a good athlete and a student, and just expected life to run smoothly, get married, have kids, and live happily ever after. I'd say my things started happening after my second child was born, and then by the third pregnancy, my body just said, I'm done, I'm quit. And I had digestive issues, hormonal issues, thyroid issues, and little did I know I was full of heavy metals. Aluminum, lead, and mercury were off the charts. So I went to a facility that was actually treating mostly cancer patients, and I was getting the heavy metals chelated out of my body, but that's where I was introduced to the accelerated silver. And what I didn't know then, but I know now, is what they were doing was they were killing the cancer in those cancer patients with the silver. So fast forward to a couple of years later, when my son started not looking so well, school performance was going down, athletic performance was going down, energy was going down, didn't look well. And we went to Western medicine doctor, and of course his blood test came back okay. But then we took a live blood cell test where you put the blood underneath the microscope and you look at what's going on right there and then. And what we saw was not only anemia and nutritional deficiencies and extremely acidic blood, but we saw a lot of cancer cells. And I was told if we didn't do anything now, we would be talking about leukemia very quickly. And so that's when I started putting him on the silver. I really was feeding him better than 99% of kids were eating. So I felt pretty helpless and what else I could do. I cleaned up his diet a little more, and saw his energy start coming back. His color was coming back. Grades started coming up. And I'll never forget having the teacher conference and the teacher saying, we're not even going to look at the grades he got last quarter because that wasn't him. that wasn't him. And she saw the improvement in how he was feeling, and that was really encouraging. But it wasn't until a year later when I actually got his live blood cell retested, and the blood not only had no more cancer cells in it, but there was extremely healthy, vibrant, alkaline blood that was dark and alkaline. So it was very healthy looking blood. And I had the worst day of my life on the first trip, and one of the better days of my life when I saw that improvement. So that was his story. And I have a daughter that, has been anemic since she was 2 years old. Asthma, allergies. I was extremely anemic as well. And nothing worked. Took all the right supplements, ate the right diets. And when I introduced the silver on a more regular basis to both of us, our anemia went away very quickly. And the reason being is not only is it killing foreign pathogens in the body, but it also opens up the cells to allow nutrients and other supplements and your nutrients from your diet to get into the cells. And then as all of this was happening, I just was hungry for more information. The more I knew that I didn't know. And I have a mentor that I would just ask a ton of questions and would get things to study. Thank God for the internet. Nowadays you can, if you want to search something and learn, you can. And then I wanted to formalize my education, so I went to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition and the other supplement school. And what was really reassuring to me was I knew 99% of what I was learning in the schools just because of my self-taught, which made me feel like I really was comfortable with what I was doing. So along the way, I've had to deal with those two kids, and then my third, pretty healthy daughter, but has had issues with concentration, a little bit of learning. I wouldn't call it ADHD, but definitely some retooling of the brain, and her grades have improved dramatically from diet and the silver and some supplements, but diet was definitely very important. I have a husband with issues that were completely opposite of me. And I truly believe that God gave me a family of 5 members with totally different set of cards where we all had different issues. So I was forced to learn about a broad spectrum of health issues. And so through all of that, I sat back and thought, gosh, the immune system will take care of you. If your system is cleaned out and detoxed and rebuilt into a new system, these viruses and cancers and bacterias and all of these things have no chance. And our bodies are meant to heal. They're meant to fight all that stuff off. I haven't been to a doctor for being sick in over 10 years. My kids haven't had antibiotics. And mind you, they've been in elementary school. They've been around kids with strep throat and the flu. And, the next morning after being at a birthday party, I hear about kids throwing up or whatever. And I give my kids what they're supposed to take, the silver, and make sure they're not eating the wrong foods, and they don't get sick. If they do get sick, it lasts a day. It doesn't last 3 weeks. So it works. And I hear stories even about dogs and horses that respond to this, the silver mainly, and stories about around the country about how their people's health has turned around.
Wow.
So.
Now, at the beginning, you said about your the heavy metals that were in your body. How did you know that you had the heavy metals in your body? Which test?
Good question. I had to do a test, and the way they test you is actually a urine test. They collect urine over a 24-hour period, and you send it to a lab. And then what's the interesting part about detoxing from heavy metals and detoxing in general, what people should know is that they may feel worse before they start feeling better, because when you're detoxing those toxins out of your tissues, those toxins are hiding in your tissues. They're not as much in your bloodstream. So when you start pulling them out, you're actually pulling them into your bloodstream, and then your kidneys and your liver need to filter them out through the body. So there is a way to do it where it's easier on your system, and your numbers may get worse before they get better, which happened in my case, where they were at one level, and then during the chelation process and the detoxing process, my numbers actually got worse. And then when I was done, it was at a very normal level. I put people on a ketogenic diet. And the reason being is when your body is in ketosis, which means you are eating a high fat, low carb, moderate protein diet, your body flips into fat burning mode. Now, whether you need to lose weight or not, when it's burning fat, it's a very clean fuel for the body. So oxygen utilization is more efficient. Your body doesn't need as much oxygen. So imagine this, your body's not needing as much oxygen to function. However, the silver is actually increasing your oxygen at the same time. So the combination is amazing. Your energy shoots up physically, mentally, brain fog goes away. You just feel sharp. You feel very even energy because you also have thousands of calories of fat on your body to burn. Even you, John, who is not an overweight person, you or an athlete that has 6% body fat, they have thousands of calories of fat to burn as energy, versus when you are burning sugar or carbs for energy, the body can only hold and store up to about 2,000 calories worth. And then you're going to bonk. Your head's going to get fuzzy, you get headaches, you have no energy, athletes will hit the wall, and your blood sugar is going up and down. When you're in ketosis, your blood sugar is very even. And it's the quickest way to have anyone with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes to stabilize their blood sugar and get off any medication. That's just a side note. But the most amazing thing what happens when you're in ketosis and your good genes are turned on and your bad genes are turned off. So say someone has a history of breast cancer in the family. That gene is essentially turned off when you are in ketosis or intermittent fasting or introducing fasting into your protocol. And the good genes are turned on. It actually helps your immune system upregulate, and something called where it kills off the bad cells and cleans up the bad cells in the body that are of no use. That starts happening in the body. And while that's happening, you're giving your digestive system a rest, because what is incorporated in a ketogenic diet is most people do intermittent fasting, where they may skip breakfast, or they fit their eating window, or they're eating in a window of maybe 6 to 8 hours. That means the rest of those hours, your body's in a healing state. Because when your body is in a feeding state, which obviously you need to eat, the healing state is turned off so we can focus on digesting food. And I don't know if you've ever noticed, when you eat, you may get tired. Well, the reason is that the blood flow is going into the gut to take care of what needs to be digested. So I just gave a whole lot of information. I didn't know if you want to stop and if there's any questions.
There are a few questions. There's a few questions pouring in, and we'll cover some of those very shortly. But people will be wondering, what is this ketonic diet like? You've talked about the low sugars and also
right.
carb. If you can just go through and explain in simple terms so people.
So what's interesting is people will say, oh, I can't do that I can't eat anything. What am I going to eat? I wake up, I have my toast, I have my cereal. What am I going to eat? Well, what you're going to eat is really delicious food. The brain is amazing. If you're eating a low-fat, high-carb diet, your brain is addicted to sugar. And it's more addicted to sugar. Sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine or heroin. So it is a drug. And when you start feeding your brain healthy fats, your brain is going to say, oh, I'm satisfied. I don't need to think about food 24 hours a day. When you talk to most people, most women especially, they'll say they're thinking about their next meal as they're finishing their last meal. When you're in ketosis, you really don't think about food. You know when you're going to eat, and that's just great. And when you eat, you really enjoy your meals. But you're eating, for instance, eggs with coconut oil and avocado. And if you can eat dairy, you put a little cheese in there. Turkey bacon. Now, I always eat organic. I stick to organic or wild fish, organic chicken, grass-fed, grass-finished beef. On occasion, I never eat pork because one of the questions, a lot of questions about parasites. Pork is extremely loaded with parasites.
Wow.
So, and that is, 2 of my kids got very sick with parasites from eating pork. So that's just a side note. But you're eating a lot of coconut oil, avocados, olive oil, the fattier cuts of meat. You don't want the skinny chicken breast. You want the dark meat with the skin on it of the chicken. The full egg, not an egg white omelet. You use your olive oil salad dressings, not fat-free salad dressings. If you look at some of the fat-free, low-fat salad dressings, you'll see that they're replacing the fat with sugar. So it's just one more way of increasing the sugar in your diet. And it's not satisfying in the brain. So as you're eating more fats in your diet, you actually will not be as hungry. Your appetite is going to be smaller, and your energy goes up. Lots of green vegetables. So I typically tell someone if they are trying to lose weight, or if they're trying to, fight cancer or some strong bacteria or something like that, I would tell them to eat less than 20 carbs a day, 20 grams of carbs a day. So most of their carbs are coming from green vegetables. And then the rest of their diet is the eggs and the nuts. Some nuts you have to be careful of. I really like these peely nuts. I have them on my website, but you can get them at other places. They only have 1 carb, and they taste like butter and salt. They're delicious.
Really? I've seen those nuts. Really?
Yeah, they're from Indonesia. They were just introduced to the United States with a great company. I love the company because it was created out of all the right reasons, very ethical. But they just taste so good and very satisfying. But if you look at some of the nuts like cashews and those types of things, they can get higher in the carbs. So you do have to be careful. But nuts are a great way to add calories. Like my son, he's an athlete and needs to make sure he's eating enough. And he eats maybe a bag of macadamia nuts a day or peely nuts, because he just needs to load up on the calories and the fat. So that's what it looks like. The Keto Shake is exogenous ketones. So what that means is your body turns fat into ketones when it's fat adapted, or what's called keto adapted. Now, to get to that state, your body's been burning glucose for however old you are. Right? For, most of us have been on a glucose or a carb burning diet. So we need to switch to a different fuel system. It's like switching from gasoline to diesel. So there's going to be a transition period. The Keto Shake is these exogenous ketones that kickstart that and puts you into ketosis within 30 minutes. So you feel great day one. Your energy's great, physically, mentally, and it's streamlined. And then your body slowly learns how to burn its own fat and burn the fat from your food. And if you weren't to do the shake and you switch to a ketogenic diet, there will be a period of time where you may feel sluggish because your body's starving for that sugar it's used to and doesn't really know what to do with the fat quite yet. As the cleaner your diet is, the easier the transition. So what is so amazing about when you're in a ketosis state and then you incorporate these other supplements to clean out your body and detox, you're setting up your immune system to just be on fire. You've given yourself so many tools and strengthened that immune system. So even if you walk into a room with a whole bunch of sick people, you're fine. And I actually don't worry about when people are coughing in the room or, I haven't been sick, and knock on wood. And if I feel something come on, I just make sure my diet is right, and I take my silver especially, and sleep obviously is another very important factor.
Right. Okay. Now, how do you request a live cell test? Does a regular doctor do this?
Of course not. I have a lady in Southern California that does it. You probably could Google other locations wherever you are.
Okay.
Regular doctor does not do it. And it was shocking to see the vast difference between what the regular blood test will tell you at the regular doctor versus a live blood cell. And even if you're not sick, it's a great thing to do because your blood's probably more acidic than you think it is. And there can be some nutritional deficiencies like anemia that you can see that you wouldn't have normally caught. And it will catch things before they become in a more serious state. If I hadn't had that for my son, oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about it because it's just so devastating to see a child suffer. And I thank God every day for knowing and having that as a resource. And that is truly why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I'm so passionate about helping other people. And everything that I have and everything that I do is all natural and no side effects. There's no side effects to the silver. Back to the silver on one point, there's other silvers out there. There's ionic silver and colloidal silver. Those silvers have real silver in it. There's only a 6% penetration into the cells, and you actually are ingesting real silver. And remember, I am one that had to detox from heavy metals. So I'm the last person that wants to put another heavy metal in my body. The accelerated silver has very little silver in it, but what it is it's distilled water that has memorized the signature of silver. So it acts like silver. It goes in your body. It dissipates into a gas. And as a gas, it has a full 100% penetration into the cells versus just the 6%. So you feel it right away. I mean, people, they're boosted in energy, and you just really feel that. So you can't overdose on it. If you give it to an infant and they happen to drink the whole bottle, you're wasting your money, but you're not going to, the infant's fine.
Okay. Is it like homeopathy, very low concentration?
Yes. Very similar.
So it's safe.
Yes.
Okay. These are questions from Facebook actually. Michael Mooney was asking, he's asking about the terrain protocol, which is a spooky protocol, asking there's a monthly or once or twice a year. I'll answer this one because it's spooky. Michael, you do this one. You run the terrain protocol. You can run the terrain protocol continuously while you're running other programs. It's a general detox program. Okay, Sarah, back to you. This is a question which is for you. This is from from Naroya Tamani. I hope I've said your name right. How long does it take to detox your body?
Oh gosh, I'm detoxing every day. With the world we live in, there's so many toxins that we're bombarded with, whether even if we're eating the most clean, pure diet that's all organic, toxins in the air get into those fields and even on the organic fields, and you need to detox every day. So when people say, well, how long do I need to do the detox bundle? I say, well, you can do it as long as you want. I do it every day, and it's just part of my daily routine. And when I get off of it, I feel a difference. And it's, but if you are heavily loaded with toxins, you know, it will make a big dent in it very quickly. I mean, I don't know a better way, unless you're going to a facility to get chelation done for heavy metals, which is very expensive. This is a very easy way to have your body start detoxing and healing itself.
Yes.
So for, a lot of people really incorporate the fasting. If they're in a serious situation for cancer, if I had cancer, I'd fast for maybe 3 to 4 days to really kick up my immune system. I'm not fighting that. So what I try to do is I will have my Keto Shake in the morning and then as my breakfast, and then squeeze my meals within a 6 to 8 hour period. Now, this is not a calorie restriction diet. This is just a same or even actually more calories, but just within a shorter period of time. But that time of not eating is boosting the detox effect. So depending on how strict you are and what situation you're in with what your condition is, the detox is going to take a different amount of time.
Okay. Teresa Fairchild is asking about accelerated silver. She's asking, is it the same as Nano Silver?
So Nano Silver, no, it's actually sub-nano. So Nano Silver, the particle size is nano. The accelerated silver is sub-nano. So it's like comparing apples to oranges. A lot of people ask me, what's the ppm or what's the parts per million? That's kind of an old school way of measuring silver's efficacy. So with my silver, there really isn't a parts per million. It's because it turns into a gas in your body. It's creating oxygen in your body and killing those foreign pathogens, because foreign pathogens can't survive in the environment with oxygen. So you can even breathe it into your lungs through a nebulizer for pneumonia or bronchitis or even lung cancer. And I have a client that had stage 4 lung cancer, and that's what he did, and was very successful.
So you mean he recovered from the cancer?
So he did do chemo as well, but through that, he was stage 4, and at the time, I wasn't even aware of the fact that I was telling him to eat a ketogenic diet. I just told him to cut the carbs and the sugar, and he used the silver through a nebulizer. And not only the doctor gave him a 30% chance of living with the chemo and with what he was doing with him. And not only was the cancer gone and put him in remission within a year, but the sign of the tumor, there was no sign there was ever a tumor there. I mean, it's just amazing.
It is amazing. Okay, question coming in. I don't understand this question, so I'll just ask it as it's written. How do you detox after DTaP? Do you know what
the DTaP, the vaccine? Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh gosh. Well, I would do this. On top of that, good question. I mean, the vaccines have a lot of toxins in them. I would also do probably a liver flush and a liver cleanse after that. And as I mentioned in the beginning, you want to detox your body in a specific order. So you do this sort of the detox bundle, and then what you would want to do is detox your kidneys, which I have a supplement called Uri Flush, which you just take some pills. It's very simple. And then you detox your liver with the liver flush. And that just is a couple extra pills throughout the day. That's an easy thing to do as well. When you're talking about vaccines, though, it depends on what damage it's done or if there has been any adverse reaction. You really need to build up the immune system too. And so through the silver and through the supplements and the ketogenic diet, you're boosting your immune system that will help clear that stuff out.
Right. And the mercury as well, you'd have to, I guess, chelate that out through some...
Yes.
Can you continue drinking coffee and wine if you drink wine during a detox?
So the coffee, yes, coffee actually helps squeeze the liver. So but you want to make sure it's organic coffee. Alcohol, no. Alcohol on the liver cleanse. Let me rephrase that. If you're doing the detox protocol, the gentle detox protocol, yes, you can continue to drink. However, alcohol is the first energy that your body's going to burn. So when you drink alcohol, especially wine, you are feeding your body sugar. So it's going to kick you out of ketosis. And your liver's going to stop and say, hey, wait a second, I got to stop doing my work because there's a poison here. I got to take care of this and burn it off first before I do anything else. So it's kind of a double whammy. You lose time. Saying that, if you want a glass of wine when you're going out for a special dinner, absolutely drink it. You don't want to stop your life. If you're fighting cancer, then that's a different story. If you're a pretty healthy person and just doing a general detox, absolutely you can, you want to be reasonable and continue to live your life. But what you'll find is as you're detoxing from sugar and your sugar cravings go away, your alcohol cravings go away. I did not try to stop drinking. I didn't really think it was an issue. I don't really drink anymore. And it's not because I don't try to or want to. It's just because it doesn't do anything for me. I feel so good. My energy is so good mentally and physically without it that I want to wake up tomorrow morning and feel great.
As we all do. Let's go through some other questions. How often should you detox?
Like I said, with the detox powder and the silver, I do it every day. I do the silver 4 to 7 times a day because it's cleaning out my system. It's also giving me a boost of energy. And you want to make sure you're rebuilding your gut and cleaning it, keeping it clean. So I do the Latera Flora and the probiotic every day.
Every day.
And as far as like a liver flush goes, I'll do that maybe 3 times a year. And that's just a 2-week process. Very simple. It doesn't, you don't have to starve. You don't have to be in pain. It's very simple.
And when is the best time to start a detox?
Today. There's no well, I was laughing because I got an email from a client the night before Thanksgiving last week saying, I need to lose weight. I need a detox. I said, well, let's talk next week. Because, with the holidays and stuff, it is hard. Saying that, it's not going to hurt you to start now, even if you're going to cheat and get off the wagon for Christmas and for the different holidays. You're still helping your body. Doing some is better than none. And you have to listen to your body. You have to listen to what your parameters are and live your life. And not, unless you really are fighting something serious, I don't recommend people to just go cold turkey unless that's their personality and that's the way they need to do it. If they need to do one step at a time, I support that. And I try to feel out people and their personalities before what I would recommend for them. I get a little scared when someone buys, thousands of dollars of supplements in day one, because then I'll never hear from them again. They're just not going to do it. Whereas, you start with like the bundle, or you start with the ketogenic diet, and you start feeling a difference, then you're going to continue on and take the next step.
Right, it does make sense. Let's see, if someone's taking supplements already and other medications, can they still do a detox while they're...
Yes. So the question about prescription drugs, because there's a difference between natural supplements and prescription drugs.
Okay.
The accelerated silver actually makes the prescription drugs work better. So not that I want you on prescription drugs, but it will actually make them work better. The detox powder will, if they're taken very close to the prescription drug, it'll soak it up thinking it's a toxin. So what you just want to do is make sure you're taking them an hour apart, but totally fine to take them at the same time.
Okay.
And then the rest of the supplements are totally fine to take as well. Supplements like vitamins and minerals, if they're natural, you can take them at any time. I actually recommend you take the silver along with them, because it will open the cells up and allow those nutrients and vitamins and minerals to get into the cells more efficiently. So just as in the case of my daughter and me when we were anemic and doing all the right things, taking the right supplements for the anemia, nothing was working until I introduced the silver, and the silver opened the cells up and allowed the nutrients to get into the cells and cure the anemia.
Great. Is it okay to exercise and detox?
Absolutely. Exercise is a great form of helping the body detox through sweating and through stimulating your lymphatic system. It's a great way. If you have a cold and the ups and downs of a jog or jumping on a trampoline, those types of things are very good for your lymphatic system. And sweating, you're getting the toxins out.
Going back to heavy metal toxicity, how do people get so many heavy metals into their body?
They're just everywhere. They're in our foods. They're in the planes that fly over our heads. They're in the soils. They're in the vaccines. It's, the mercury in the dental fillings that they used to use. I was over the top filled with lead and mercury and aluminum. Deodorant has aluminum in it. The shampoos and conditioners and lotions we use, they have toxins, and you're rubbing it right into the largest organ on your body. And those are things that you've got to be careful of. So they're everywhere. So you just really have to start being conscious of what you're doing and what you're putting into your body through care products, through your laundry detergent, through the dish soap you use on your dishes, and then you're eating off those plates.
Right. It's quite a few ways that toxins can get into your body.
Yes.
Are there any symptoms that people may be experiencing that may suggest that they have heavy metal poisoning?
Brain fog. Heavy metals are linked to Alzheimer's and dementia. Energy, fatigue, just not feeling well. You can feel crazy, actually, too. I mean, your brain actually makes you feel a little crazy and going, overreacting, depression, anxiety, all of those things.
Wow. Now, you, as well as your live blood testing, you went to alternative which, I mean, they shouldn't really be called mainstream,
Exactly.
testing for your heavy metal. Is that where they took a sample of your blood and they then sent it away for analysis?
So what they actually do it through urine. So you collect your urine for 24 hours and then you send that in.
Okay. Now, if you were to give advice to people, if they're watching this video, they're thinking, well, hey, let's make a few changes and make myself, stronger and more resilient to the evils that are around us all. What are the most important things advice you'd give to them? If you want to summarize.
So number one is sleep. And that's something that I took for granted for a long time and I'm really trying to focus on now. Sleep and stress. Stress kills. And you can eat all the right foods and your blood will show stress and acidity just from the external forces of stress. So that would be number one. And then diet would be the next one. Cleaning up the diet, taking all of the sugar and the carbs out of your diet or down to, a minimal amount, increasing the healthy fats. And I would absolutely introduce the accelerated silver. That's a no-brainer. It's for the guy that wants to change nothing else in his life, and it's for the Olympic athlete that wants to increase the oxygen in his blood. So that is a supplement that is so easy to take. It tastes like water, looks like water, but that would be the easiest thing. And probably it's absolutely the thing that most people want from me. And then they get into the more detailed supplements of the detox bundle and then going from there.
Right. When you're going through the ingredients of your detox bundle, say the slippery elm will make things work quite nicely. We'll get it.
Yes.
We'll get it out. Moving on to the immune system, if we can just go through again the function of the immune system. You passed comment that the gut was basically 80%, I believe, of the immune system.
So if you were taking an antibiotic, you're killing off the bad bacteria and you're killing the good bacteria off in your gut. So you are a prime candidate to get something again. Your immune system is killed. And I have someone that just was reporting that she's feeling depressed and she just had to take 3 rounds of antibiotics that didn't work. And, it's very common to feel off and anxious and depressed because not only is it killing the good bacteria, that is also where your serotonin and your dopamine are made. So when you kill that stuff off, your hormones can't be made properly. And the immune system, you constantly hear people saying they have autoimmune disease. And what that is mainly caused by is something called leaky gut. Through vaccines and toxins and sugar and gluten, the walls of your intestines get little holes eaten through where there's holes into the bloodstream. So what happens then is you get a meal of, say you're eating a clean, healthy meal, those food particles don't get broken down and they get into the bloodstream, and the bloodstream sees it as a foreign protein and says, oh no, we've got an invader, we need to have an overemphasized attack on whatever it is, and there's this inflammation and an autoimmune response. So with that's your immune system going in overdrive and going after something that was so innocent, and then you've got maybe another virus or bacteria floating in the blood that's going to then grab hold of the system because it's over in the other area taking care of a foreign particle that it shouldn't even have to take care of. I don't know if that was clear enough. But with the the detox protocol, you're healing your leaky gut and strengthening the immune system. The immune system's job is to go after those foreign invaders.
You're not against food. No, they'll go chasing food particles in your blood. Yeah, no, I fully understand that. Now, inflammation is the cause of many diseases, isn't it?
Yes.
Many diseases.
Most diseases, yeah.
Most diseases.
Mm-hmm.
So if you eliminate those which are unnecessary, or the causative factors which are unnecessary, then the body can get to work with the more important issues at hand.
Right.
Now, what is the function of inflammation? Why does the body have an inflammation response to infection?
We are so lucky to have that response. It's a great response because it's telling your body, oh my gosh, we've got to go to this area of the body and fix it now.
Okay.
Now, it's the chronic inflammation that is a problem.
Yes.
So when you've got chronic inflammation, then it's going to create a more chronic disease state. But if you break your leg, you sure hope that you have inflammation so that your body knows it's going after that area to heal the problem. Mm. The ketogenic diet and what we're talking about reduces inflammation throughout the body, which is very important. But the job of inflammation is essentially to tell the body where there's an area of concern.
Okay. Does loss of sleep depress immunity?
Absolutely. And so with all of this talk about supplements and the right diet, the first thing that I said to you that was important was sleep.
Absolutely.
It's your body's time to restore and to take advantage of all the good things you did during the day. You know, I know people that'll work out and exercise for 3 hours a day and then get 6 hours of sleep. Well, they're wasting their time exercising and they're putting a major amount of stress on their body because their body has no time to restore. And it's really important for your brain and your body to restore and take advantage of what good it's done during the day.
Okay. Are there any foods that you can eat, just normal, naturally occurring foods, which also boost your immunity?
Not naturally occurring foods.
Okay. Oh, sorry, naturally occurring foods that do.
Naturally. Oh, vegetables, of course, green vegetables. And, you know, I'm not a vegetarian. I love wild fish. So I would say that's important to me. And I think it's very, very good for your body. Mm. Nuts, yes. You know, certain nuts, if they're organic and treated right. But there's a whole theory that we don't need to go into about certain plants that have toxins in them. If if your immune system is hyper reactionary, but we don't need to go into that.
Okay. Just, vitamin C, we haven't touched on that. Is that an important vitamin for boosting one's immunity?
Yes, it is. I personally don't take a vitamin C supplement. It's included in the multivitamin drink that I do. Okay. When your body is in ketosis, it doesn't create as many free radicals. So you actually don't need as many antioxidants to combat the free radicals in your body. So it downregulates that whole system. But vitamin C is fantastic.
Okay. Now, emotions. Do emotions affect emotions? Do emotions affect the immune system?
Oh, yes. Mind, spirit, body, it's all connected. I know people that'll get out of a relationship and their digestive issues go away, or they stop getting sick. So absolutely, when your emotions are down or stressed, or you're depressed or anxious, your system is definitely going to suffer. And like I said, your gut is your second brain, and in your gut is where we produce our serotonin levels and our dopamine. So if those levels are low, and we're not feeling good because of them, your immune system is also low because your gut is compromised.
Okay, great. Let's have a look. Going through the questions again. Does accelerated silver burst or make an impact on biofilm? They're asking, I think, more specifically with regards to Lyme. A question from
Yes. So good question. I have a lot of Lyme's clients who have used colloidal silver in the past or antibiotics, and they have not done anything for them. The accelerated silver is the first one where they would report saying that they see a difference. Do I think it will take care of the Lyme's by itself? Probably not. I would definitely incorporate it with a ketogenic diet, which has been extremely successful in making the person feel good and killing their sugar cravings and giving them energy back. I would say that there's definitely multiple steps to a protocol for Lyme's. It's definitely a tough bug to go after.
Absolutely.
But the accelerated silver has been much more successful than other silvers or antibiotics.
Okay. Lucas has asked, a Facebook member, can you take a diatomaceous earth when you have a peptic ulcer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, actually, this combination of in the detox powder is very good for ulcers.
Great. Let's see. Just going through some more questions that have come through. Now, the accelerated silver, I've had a few questions through. You've explained some differences between accelerated silver and other silver. Can people make their colloidal silver in a different way so it becomes an accelerated silver? People that have their spooky kits, there's a way of introducing frequencies into a substrate and imprinting. Is it
no?
Okay.
There's not.
Okay. Yeah.
Not at this time.
Okay. You're saying that in a different interview, you actually said it was using scalar technology.
Right.
It's quite intriguing.
Yes, but there's a proprietary way of doing it that is not public.
Okay. That's fine. Okay. Now, where can people get more information? You haven't mentioned your website. You can just where they can find you.
My website is acceleratedhealthproducts.com, and that's ACCELERATED, healthproducts.com. Most people, if you Googled accelerated silver, it will take you to my website. And that's where all my supplements are. And I have a lot of audio and videos and a lot of information about the ketogenic diet and the keto supplement and the silver. And I've also been on a couple other podcasts. So there's a lot of information out there. And I recommend, if you are interested at all, I have a newsletter that I send out once a week, and with tidbits of information and discounts and that sort of thing. So that's what I would recommend.
Well, Sara, thank you very much for your time. I know you're a very busy person. You're running a family and you've got other tasks as well. So thank you for finding time for us. And finding time for our wonderful Facebook and other viewers, because we all learn from the experts that we have on board, and you've certainly taught us quite a fair bit today. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Sean. I really enjoyed it. And let me know if there's any other questions. People can email me if they want to at sarabanta at gmail.com if they have specific questions.
Wonderful. Okay, thanks again, Sarah, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.